the right jar? Where's my jar? Which one? You are not the right one. Haha. This is also not the correct jar. How many fucking jars do you need, Monique? Not be in here. We'll pick another one. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Hey, hello team. My name is Monique. Welcome back to the Cauldron and a new TBR Tombola. In case you didn't know, this is Bookwitchreviews on my channel. And yes, I know that I have barely made any videos whatsoever. And that's okay. We are just doing our very best, and our very best is still trying to make TBR videos. So that is what we are doing together. So in case you didn't know, I created TBR Tombola October, not last year but the year before, and then in January I revamped it to TBR Tombola 2.0, which is a TBR game where I use one of these and then I pick 5 numbers that have a prompt attached to it, and then I will pick a book out from that prompt. Pretty simple, I think so. All of the prompts are tagged down below. You can also watch the video where I explain the rules and explain the different prompts, but let's just get straight into it. Let's do our very best and have a good time. Compared to last year, I obviously changed the amount of numbers that I picked each month, and then I also added the arc jar. Have I read anything from the arc jar yet? No. Am I going to continue to pick them? Yes, because it is bringing my arcs to my forefront, and I was actually doing really well with reading arcs last month, even if they were not the ones that I picked out of this jar. So in this jar, I have arcs that I have on NetGalley. Usually they are e-arcs. I have a few that I was sent unsolicited that I just sort of like, I should read them and I want to read them. They just keep getting pushed down because they are already out. But let's pick a number from the jar. We have repicked The Story of Silence, which is a book that came out in 2020 that I have an arc of. I can't quite remember what it is about, but I believe it's about a young woman who is raised away from her noble family, and she's named Silence, and then I believe that she may dress up as a knight to do something. I'm gonna put the thing here, and then if I read it I will maybe tell you about it. Okay, yeah, so first book on the thing. So anywho, let's get on with the numbers, shall we? Time to make a TBR again, but I won't follow. 79. So the first number that I picked was 79, which is the prompt of a newest to collection. And for that, I will be reading Bluebird by C.L. Peelot, which is queers in space. And I believe it is especially queer gunslingers in space, which, you know, I am absolutely here for. So I believe, yeah, so we have Rig, who is a gunslinger, outlaw, thief, who has this ship called Bluebird, and she is trying to keep ahead of like the galaxy fractions. So I believe it's like multi-galaxy, usually some sort of revolution. I've heard very, very, very good things. I absolutely love this cover, and I believe it is sapphic as well. So super excited about this one. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Honestly, I'm just terrible, and I hope you're just enjoying my presence and not actually me talking about books. Next number is 34, which is an epic fantasy, and for that I will finally be reading A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. This is the first book in the Mirror Visitor series. This, I believe, has been translated from French, and it has had very, very, very good reception in other countries as well. People are saying, however, that the last book, I believe it's a quartet, so there are 4 books in all, is really like annoying. That everything else is great but the ending is bad, so that made me a little bit terrified. But I actually really want to read this, and I believe that we are following a young scholar who lives sort of with her family, but she's not really connected to them, and all she really wants to do is to sort of study and do her own thing. And then she gets put into like an arranged marriage where she has to like move to a different island, and they are on these different, like these floating islands. And yeah, I believe it's sort of like not enemies to lovers, but sort of like a rivalry lovers things. And yeah, I'm super excited about it and about reading it. Next we have a 22, which is a chance card. So let us pick a card so that we can pick a book. Pick a card and pick a book and do our best and da-na-na. So yeah, I made these. They have different prompts on them, and chance cards, Net Galliac! Wonderful! Okay, we will pick one. So for this prompt, I will be reading the sequel to For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, and I will be reading For the Throne, which I have been very generously allowed to read early. It comes out on the 9th of June and is, yes, as I mentioned, a sequel to For the Wolf, which is this sort of creepy, foresty romance fantasy. And I believe in For the Throne we are following the twin sister to the main character of From the Wolf, and I'm just super excited. I absolutely adored For the Wolf because I thought the writing was really lovely. This sort of forest was like nice and creepy, but also equally just sort of magical and wonderful. And basically in this world you have a ruling family where the first daughter is for the throne and the second daughter is for the wolf. And so in the first book, Red is given over to the forest as sort of a sacrifice to keep this sort of evil forest at bay. However, as Red enters the woods, she finds out that there may be much more to this old story of the daughters. And I just, yeah, I loved it. I'm super excited about reading the next book. So yeah, this will be what I will be reading. So yeah. Next I picked number 41, which is a friend recommendation, and for that I will finally be reading The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, which is a favorite of my friend Justine's, who is on YouTube, as I should read that and you should absolutely follow her because her videos make much more sense than mine. But basically this is an adult fantasy where I believe we are following a young man who sort of accidentally finds himself in charge of a bone ship, and these bone ships are made out of these massive dragons that disappeared hundreds of years before, and now people are sort of battling to have the sort of ownership of these bone ships. So I'm super excited about reading this one. The cover is stunning, and I've just heard really good things about it, so I'm really excited about it. And last but not least, I picked number 43, which is another friend recommendation, and for that I will be reading The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. Margaret Owen also wrote Little Thieves, which was my favorite read of last year, and I honestly have been so excited about reading this duology of hers that she actually wrote before Little Thieves. And this one, I believe, follows a young woman in a fantasy world where people are divided into groups of sort of birds that are sort of gods, but they have different magical powers, and the crows are sort of looked down upon and ostracized, and they deal with the dead. And however, one day our young main protagonist goes in to get the crown prince and his sort of bodyguard, and or their bodies anyway, and they might not actually be dead. So I'm super excited about this one. It's like Margaret Owen just writes super humorously, and it's just very wonderful, and I'm very excited about reading this one. Additionally to that, I am hoping that I will finally be getting around to reading Miss Rule by Heather Walter, which comes out on the 10th. So I might actually be starting this rather soon. This is the sequel to Malice, which is a villainous retelling of Sleeping Beauty. It is sapphic, it is adult fantasy, but it does read rather young. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can read this one as well. So here we go. This is my stack for May, plus a couple of e-arcs. I am also hoping that I may pick up some of my other arcs this month, especially the ones that are not out yet. And this, I know, was absolute chaos. I know it made not that whole much sense because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I am here and I'm trying to make a video for you, so I hope you enjoy it. And anywho, I hope you're all doing okay, and I hope you are taking the time that you need to get through life, because life is really hard right now. And just remember that I am super proud of you. So I'll see you soon.